What is up, everybody? Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bearded Men Real Estate Show. I'm Ray. This is Dan. Say hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
And we are two bearded real estate agents with a show. And we've got our shirts. We got new shirts.
Dude, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but look at that right there.
We got the Listen, Learn, Love shirt. So if you ordered one of these shirts, you already should have it in your possession, unless you lived way far away. So the shirts are in. I think everybody's already made the donation. I gotta fix one or two Venmos, but other than that, thank y'all for supporting it. Thank you for letting us get these shirts out. That was a fun project, and we hope to have some more coming up soon.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff.
Cool stuff. Oh, and get your self less headspace so we can be even. I feel like I'm looking down at you, Dan. Yeah, there you go. I can see more of your shirt too.
And then I have to go.
Yeah, beautiful beard. Wait, wrong way. I always look at the wrong way the first time I do that. Well, if you are joining us live, you can actually comment live. We can talk about you or your comments. So thanks for tuning in. I know there's several of you there because I can see how many people are watching. So comment. That way I can use you as an example. We also would love for you to share the show. We can't say in the text anymore to share the show. I don't even know if you could say on a show to share the show without getting suppressed. But yeah, we're going to say share the show because we have some topics coming up that are kind of sort of controversial. Zillow, who we talked about last week. I think it was last week, cutting us out a bit. Didn't we talk about that?
Yeah, now they're just straight up cutting us out.
Yeah, now they're definitely cutting us out. So if you were an agent that worked with a particular builder or that builder's clients, you're now going to be cut out of those transactions. We're going to talk about what's going on with mortgage rates, home prices, buyers, and what they're doing with contingencies. If you're a New York real estate agent and you are discriminatory, you could lose your license. But what about everywhere else? And should you, I don't know. We'll get into some details about some of these cases.
We'll deep dive that one.
That's right. And EXP acquired something, and they're going to go head to. I almost said head to toe with Zillow. They're going to go toe to toe or head to head. Have you ever thought about that? You can go toe to toe or head to head. That's the same.
It's the same. Can you go toe to head though? I mean, technically, if you go toe to toe, you're head to head.
I mean, if you go toe to head, you're like that's like kung fu stuff. That's taekwondo, right? So I guess you could say really EXP is looking to go toe to head with Zillow.
They are. And they bought a new, I'll give a little spoiler alert. They bought a new cumulonimbus cloud.
There you go.
Yeah.
More clouds. Well, Dan, before we get into all this stuff, would you tell everyone what Be More is actually all about?
You know what? I'd love to. Now, when Ray and I met, it was over 3 years ago now here on the interwebs.
Yeah. There you go.
And I had an idea for a show because I'm, in fact, a bearded man in real estate. And when I met Ray, I noticed something very interesting about him. His glasses are fake. Did you guys know that?
That's not true. I can't see with that. As a matter of fact, I had my polarized sunglasses on this morning because it was a little bit bright outside. And it was really nice, super nice weather. So I had these polarized sunglasses, and they're not prescription. And I realized that I couldn't make out the faces of the people that were just over there. And I thought, man, it's getting worse.
Yeah, mine are too. I'm pushing it off. But no, he does in fact need those glasses. I'm just kidding. But his glasses are very polarizing during a very difficult time on social media.
Very polarizing glasses.
Very polarizing. But no, I noticed he also has a beard, but he also had a layout for the show, and it's the same layout we use today. But I also noticed that he loves giving value up front to his clients, and so do I. So it's about being more as an agent, but also being more as a human.
Yes, and inevitably in conversations with your clients, some of these articles should come up. When you talk about the economy and what's happening as an expert in the real estate industry, they would anticipate that you already know these things. So if you have to, just put us on audio. But we would love for you to actually type and talk to us. Oh, just like Michael Elizabeth Brodell is doing right now. She said head to toe is 69. I don't know what that means. She also said Ray is actually pretty blind. It's not like a legally blind where you can't drive down the street or anything. I just can't read the license plates. It's that kind of thing. Like the signs, I got to squint to read the signs. Why do your eyes work better when they're squinted? Anyway,
Wait, so right now, why are
Mhm.
your glasses on? Because you can't see, you can't read text.
So yeah, so if I take them off, it does two things. It puts a halo around little lights, right? But it
Okay.
also means that I have to squint to read Michael Elizabeth Rodale's comment that's right over there. And when I have them, I just see it normal.
Okay. But now for things far away, you don't need glasses, or you are now too.
Are you saying are you asking if I'm nearsighted or farsighted?
Yeah, because
I think
technically,
I'm sighted near. I can see near better than far. It's so weird. It like it adjusts the words like this when I take my glasses off. Literally, they go like,
right.
it's so weird. Anyway,
And you guys didn't know you're going to get a breakdown of Ray's eyesight on the show today, did you?
Chronicles of Four Eyes.
Yep. Well, I'm asking for me because things are changing rapidly at almost 47.
Old man Dan.
Yeah, to where I'm like, I don't know. And then I think I'm just going to wait long enough to where I can actually just go to right to bifocals. I'll just get both.
Right. Well, when next time you go to the doctor and he's talking to you about upgrading your walker, you can he can ask you the eyesight questions. Oh man, Dan. Are you ready to get in the show?
Absolutely.
Let's do this.
And by the way, can I make a fun statement real quick? If I can throw something at our producers while I'm reading a story or while Ray's reading a story, but it's going to be very tough while Ray is reading a story. But there's a picture from 2 years ago today, Ray, when we first met in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to go look. I'll have to go find that.
Yeah.
Is it when we posted on Facebook, or is it one that came up in your phone? It's like a memory.
It's on memories.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because right now, where would we be?
Oh yeah, we normally this time of year would be at the Tom Ferry Summit.
That's not happening.
Now, well, it is happening virtually.
Virtually, yeah.
And I'm hosting a virtual happy hour for all of you who are attending it. So be sure to check that out.
Yeah, and I'm going to do a live rock show on Thursday night, which is usually the big.
That's the big party.
Oh. All right. If you're a Tom Ferry person, then you know what that is. Anyway.
All right, so let's get into it. Mortgage rates set another record low, but borrowers take a step back. So normally one of the things we always talk about is how sensitive buyers are to mortgage rates. And apparently there's not a direct correlation with mortgage rates slightly moving just a little bit because the buyers have stepped off the purchasing ledge, I guess you could say. All right, anyway. Rates dip again.
To purchasing.
Yeah. Rates dip again, but application volume to purchase a home were down 2% compared with the previous week. Oh no, it's all ending. 8. Purchase application volume was still 22% higher than a year ago. So here's a quote from Joel Kahn. Okay, thank you. He's the Mortgage Bankers Association forecaster. He said purchase loan balances continue to climb, which is perhaps a sign that the still weak job market and tighter credit for government loans are constraining some of the first-time home buyers. So applications to refi were also down 7%, but they were still 84% higher than they were last year. So total application volume was still a lot higher than it was last year. Application to purchase was still a lot higher than it was last year, but we did see a pullback a little bit compared to last week. And that's only interesting because rates still dipped slightly.
It's crazy to me that during a time when people want to say the market is going to crash, Susie Orman specifically, the market is going to crash, the market is going to crash, the market is going to crash. And then you read numbers week to week. Okay, purchase applications are down. Right. New escrows are down, or new contracts are down. But then you go a year ago and it's 84% higher and 22% higher.
Right.
During a time when people aren't, quote unquote, supposed to be out there and looking in the market, but they are.
Yeah. So it's almost like there's an election.
Almost.
Dusty Martin said Summit would have been next week. Yes, that's true. She also says in AZ, it's just too freaking hot to go house shopping when owners keep their AC off or set for 89. Oh my goodness. When it's 120, no one wants to pound pavement looking for a house unless they have to. So here's a question. In Arkansas, to have a comfortably cool home is like 69, 68. That's what you set your AC on. For it to be comfortable is 72. If it's comfortably warm, you're like 76, 78.
Right. Same.
Is it the same there? Okay.
Yeah.
I would
Now,
assume, but you know, with the difference in humidity, there could be a difference in some.
Well, actually, here it's a little humid today, but in Arizona, it's really dry. So I would think that, I mean, 120 and dry, if you guys have never been in that, because it's been dry here the last chunk, you know, it's been 106, 111, but dry.
Yeah.
It does something to you. It like pulls moisture out of you, and you feel like your eyeballs are shrinking and drying up. So I can only imagine 120.
That's crazy.
Now think about 120 and dry outside.
That's an oven.
Exactly. And then you go inside to, 89 is going to feel pretty good. But after a while, you're going to start sweating inside. So, yeah.
She said this is normally our slow season, but we are actually slammed. Well, there you go.
She's saying
you're higher than last year, but there was a pullback for the week. And I wonder if the total pullback could be that there was a hurricane that was supposed to rock the East Coast, that it turned out, I think it knocked over 2 or 3 lawn chairs.
4, actually.
Was it 4? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next story.
I'm thinking controversial things. All right. Home prices see strong June bounce, but economists, I said it correctly, warn it won't likely last.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that. So that's the headline, straight up. Home prices see strong June bounce, but economists warn it likely won't last. But then when you read it, it's kind of like, actually, what we mean is, so the first read on home prices in June is proving just how resilient the housing market has been in the face of the ongoing economic disaster. Strong demand for housing, much of it pushed by the Rona, is driving prices higher faster, but forecasters say that may not last. Now, nationally, home prices increased by almost 5% annually in June, according to CoreLogic. Prices climbed 1% month to month, which is the fastest monthly gain for June since 2013. That's a pretty big jump in 1 month. This is a quote from Frank Nothiff, the chief economist over at CoreLogic. Mortgage rates hit record lows this spring, which enhanced affordability for home buyers. First-time home buyers and millennials in particular have jumped at the opportunity to achieve home ownership. Okay, so that's kind of explaining why things are pushing. So some markets are performing better than others. Here's where you kind of read past the headline. So some markets are performing better than others, which we've covered on the show. Prices were up a strong 8.4% annual in Philly, where the city is benefiting from an influx of New Yorkers. Home prices in San Francisco, however, slumped slightly. By the way, 1,000 square foot home worth $800,000. It's going to slump a little bit. Slumped slightly compared to a year ago, as tech workers were told they could work remotely from anywhere. That resulted in many people moving out of the city to more affordable locations. Demand fell and prices followed. So it seems more likely that some areas will boom. So instead of the headline, Ray, being economists say it won't likely last, or it likely won't last, the headline should be some areas wane while other areas gain.
Ooh, look at that. You're a rhymer.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost BuzzFeed worthy, but it's too balanced.
Yeah, it is. It's not one left or right side, but It just seems, I mean, we've been saying it on the show for how long now? It just seems like, so while people are working more and more from home, they're leaving those areas, but then where they're going to go buy now is going to get a boom. Right. So wouldn't that ebb and flow actually even out?
It should create some kind of equalization in the market if inventory can keep up.
Right.
That's the problem.
Which we're still 1.8 million behind. Although there's a new development here in Riverside that should be pretty sweet. Nothing crazy on the taxes. They're building 4,000 homes as we speak.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah.
Dusty Martin goes on. So for more weather related,
the bearded weatherman of real estate,
the bearded weatherman and AC settings.
Yeah.
She said, oh, I got the run. She said, here, 72 to 73, most people can't afford it. Most think 76 is acceptable, but our monsoon season is like 40 to 6 degrees humidity with dew points between 53 and 65. It's not dry here. Trust me. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, so there you go. Because whenever I've been to Arizona, it's not been during that time. Like, when is your monsoon season would be? Because I've always been there. I don't know.
During that time period?
I've been there when it's been dry.
Speaking of drying up, inventory is drying up and buyers are saying bye, bye, bye to contingencies.
Bye,
Bye, bye.
Gotta be May.
Okay, so with a lack of inventory currently on the market, agents and buyers are getting creative with terms to get their contracts accepted. Bidding wars are on the rise, and more than half of Redfin offers, that's 53.7%, have faced competition in June. Oops, I just lost my place there. Okay, so home buyers are waiving the contingencies to make their offers more attractive to home sellers. From the inspection contingency to the appraisal contingency, both are being used to make their offers a little sweeter. Redfin agents waived inspection for 20% of their accepted offers compared to 13.2% last year. So that's a switch of nearly 7%. Also, appraisal contingencies are up, meaning that the removal of the appraisal contingencies are up from 17.4% in 2019 to 20.6% in 2020. Dan, are you guys doing that there? Are y'all having to waive a bunch of contingencies in order to get your offers accepted?
Well, what I'm hearing by the story is Redfin agents don't protect their clients. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, wow. Well, 20% of them.
Oh, the 80% do. Yeah. I usually shorten things anyway. We have, I don't know what your contingencies are, but ours are 17 and 17 for appraisal and inspections, and then 21 for loan.
Okay.
And remember, we're an escrow state, so it's you get your offer accepted, and then it gets fully executed, and then an escrow company literally starts a new file that's opening escrow. But those contingencies technically start once that offer is fully executed. So they all run concurrently. So it used to be 17 for all three, but with all the truth in lending stuff, all those extra steps they had to take, They upped it about 5 years ago. They upped it to 21 days for the loan.
Wow. So Ellis Home Inspections with a little butt pucker says, what?
Yeah.
Inspections, waiving inspections and appraisals? Dang. So yes, he is a home inspector.
He's like, wait a second. Yeah, I don't know if I would ever waive a home inspection unless it was like an investor or someone that could do the work, because there's so many things that could pop up and you need that general view or general overlook of the home just to get an idea of what's going on. And then even if you don't ask for anything, but you still have that
that's what we're seeing, is that someone will inspect a home, but they're still buying it as is with no expectation of repairs from the seller side. So they're purchasing the home as is, though they are not they're not requiring the seller to do any of the repairs. They just want to approve the inspection to make sure it's not falling off a cliff.
Yeah, and that makes sense, because if you get in there and you're like, no, the house should be fine, but then all of a sudden there's $5,000 in termite damage. I don't know. Do you guys even have termites?
Oh yeah, you have to have a termite contract on a house in our area.
Oh yeah, see, we don't anymore. It used to be part of the offer process, but you just want to make sure. And all of a sudden, if your inspector climbs up into the attic and the roof is falling in, okay, well, I didn't say I wouldn't ask for that.
Well, yeah, that's when you leave, and then this is what is kind of dumb about doing that. Well, it could be smart if you're on the buyer side. You do that, and then the buyer's like, well, we're going to walk because we don't like the inspection. And the seller's like, well, why don't you like the inspection? What's wrong with it? Well, it's got these couple of things. We're just not. And the seller's like, okay, I'll fix it. So now the seller's doing the repairs anyway.
Right.
All right, so more on Dusty's weather. She says it starts in late June and early July. This is monsoon season. It lasts through August and September. There's a reason AZ residents go to California for summer up north. We even lose rush hour in the summer because everyone just leaves. Wow. It's just
there's a reason California's really shut down from June to early July, last through August, early September. It's really shut down from other states.
She said a small price to pay for 9 months of glorious weather. Eric says he just closed on a deal with an escalation clause and waived the inspections and appraisals. It was a cash, and they've done several rehabs in the past. The house.
So
is
there
still
you go.
off the
See, yeah.
ship. Yeah. So they had the experience. Previous owner was there and maintained it for 30 years.
See, that's legit right there.
Jeremy James says we see as is with an inspection on offers, which is supposed to be a thumbs up or thumbs down, but then we see the repair list, just like Ray said. Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm not unfamiliar with that happening.
Yeah. So, but what I do feel comfortable with, and it's going to depend on your seller who's also buying or your buyer that has a lot of cash. But we have waived some appraisals recently, and on one of them we did have to cover. It wasn't too much. There wasn't a big difference, and my client was prepared for that. But with things jumping 1% every month, they feel pretty comfortable about it.
What I thought was neat about this article, and that article, by the way, comes to us from Realtor Magazine. One of the neat things is that it had a couple of anecdotes, about, well, this agent saw this and this agent saw that. And I was pretty confident that our viewers could provide their own anecdotes, which you have. So that's perfect. Sam said, I'm not sure about you, Ray, but I'm seeing more appraisals being waived recently. Wanted to go see a new listing day one on the market. Couldn't get it scheduled because 11 showings.
Yeah.
The next day, wrote an offer in the afternoon. Listing agent said they received 14 total offers, 12 of them over list price, multiple cash offers over list, and wouldn't be ordering appraisals. Lost out with a non-contingent 10K over list, 5K deposit.
Jeez. Hey, Sam, is Sam in Arkansas with you?
Yep.
What price point is that, Sam?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm assuming he's probably in the like 250 to 350 range, but if you have that many cash offers, you may be a little bit higher.
So I literally have that same story, but on an $800,000 house listed last Friday. Literally scheduled. Now my clients.
What's your average price point though in your area?
Average price point is in the fives, so 548.
Okay, so it's a little higher than average.
Little bit. What's the national average right now? 328 or something?
No, it's in the twos, I thought.
Is it that low?
Yeah. So our average is our Little Rock average is in the low twos.
So there you go, 200 in Mayflower.
200K in Mayflower. Wow. Sam, do you think that the agent priced that a little low? It sounds like maybe.
Yeah.
On that one, because usually, I don't know. That's a cool house. Usually, you don't have that many cash offers running around in Arkansas for a $200,000 property.
Yeah. So we literally, you could copy and paste that story. $800,000 house listed last Friday, and now my clients aren't super duper ready, but we're there and we're ready to go. But they're not gonna, they're not necessarily jumping. So we're like, cool, let's just go try to see it. So I tried to schedule it on a Sunday, and like, nope, showings are totally booked, and we're presenting offers. They ended up $800,000 listing, got 18 offers, 15 of them were over ask.
Wow.
On 800 grand, and that's luxury here. When you get into above 700,
here like 450, 500 is luxury.
Dude.
Jeremy James says our insane market is 150 to 250. Median price is 200.
Yeah.
Patrick Ellis said, I'd hate to go through all those offers and sort them and rank them. Yeah. So that's fun. But so a lot of them will sort themselves, right? You have somebody puts in an offer for list price and wants $5,000 closing costs. Well, that's just, okay, that's down here compared to all these other offers that are coming in, right? Yeah. So really, you only have to sort the ones that are close and at the top. And you can do a lot of that math in your head.
The real conversation you have to have nowadays is the appraisal. Is okay, cool. They went 25 grand over list, but is it going to appraise there?
Yeah.
And we've had so many appraisal issues. I mean, I'm in escrow. I'm about to close one right now with a buyer that they went with one that was 35. They went 35 grand over asking. We went 16 grand above asking. And guess what? That one didn't appraise. They called us 2 weeks later, and now we're in escrow and about to close. And our appraisal contingency was waived. So if they would have just gone with the smart offer, and I had that conversation, and she understood the listing agent, but the sellers just wanted to try that other thing. But then they wasted 2 weeks of their sale, and and they had to pay 2 weeks more in a mortgage. So, but ours was very, very realistic and no appraisal contingency at 16 grand over, and we were good to go. So. That's the real conversation
about. He said only a 7-year-old house with 3 acres, 199K. He did say that the sellers were getting concerned about the appraisal with so many offers over list. Hence why so many cash, no appraisals bypass their concern. Yep.
Yeah. And if you can't do that, I mean, no brainer. I'm going to bring like 400 grand out there and buy a couple houses soon.
You could still move the contingency appraisal with a loan, but you just have to be willing to bring the excess cash. Just if somebody's watching, I know Sam knows that, but if somebody out there is watching and kind of wondering, the other thing you could do is play with terms. We just got an offer accepted yesterday, multiple offer situation. And I think they really appreciated us giving them 30 days to stay in the house after close.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So terms, don't overlook the terms, folks.
So I had another one where we got into escrow with an appraisal contingency intact, and the lender 3 days in waived the appraisal contingency. He's like, no, we're good. I'm like, okay. So yeah.
So this is interesting that our next article actually talks a little bit about appraisers. If there's 17% of these offers or 20% of offers are now waiving appraisal contingencies, it should take some of the pressure off, but we're having to extend our close dates just because they can't get back around to us.
Exactly. And I mean, I'm seeing pretty good turn times, which is what the next article is going to cover. But I want you guys to listen to something very specific that Ray said. So he said it from the listing side, but make sure to read the terms, but make sure that you're really getting outside the box on your offers. You know, Eric from New York had a really good one, you know, escalation clause and all this stuff, but you can sweeten the deal with terms. So if you get to know that listing agent a little bit and you know that client's motivation is, hey, they don't want to be out until September, give them a 30-day escrow with another 3 weeks to move out.
Well, and it's a lot harder to find a house right now too. So
right.
If they're going to have trouble finding a house to relocate into,
exactly,
sweeten the deal with terms. Sam said, oh yeah, we wrote a 3 to 4 month closing date on that one because the sellers were building wouldn't be done late next year. They wanted to stay as long as possible. Yep.
Yeah.
If I were you, Sam, I would still close early. That way it's done. I wrote one last year.
Yeah.
And we closed it in 30 days. And that was in September. But the seller stayed in the house until April or May with the rental agreement. So it was closed and like nobody can mess up their credit.
Right. That's what you got to do. You got to get it closed.
Don't lose a job, you know, in the second month. All right.
Yeah. So, well, because what happened? The Rona hit.
Yeah. The Rona.
The Rona hit. All right. So surging mortgage volume puts pressure on appraisal turn times. Now, I haven't seen the issue. I've seen other issues with appraisals, but not necessarily this specific one.
Please read the subtitle that's made for clickbait.
Which one?
The pandemic has only made it worse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Notice how I don't have that in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There you go. The pandemic has only made it worse. Yeah, I'd love to hear, you know, what you guys are experiencing out there about appraisals. And are these, you know, what I'm about to read through, is this happening to you guys? Do you have to wait very long times to even schedule the appraiser to get out there? But record low interest rates and spikes in mortgage applications have created a backlog. Many AMCs, appraisal management companies, are struggling to manage. So management companies can't manage. Appraisers are having a hard time keeping up with the volume for both refinance and purchase mortgages, resulting in increased turn times at one of the most critical junctures in the underwriting process. A Housing Wire survey of lenders showed a handful were being quoted 2 to 3 weeks, but they said it's changing rapidly and not for the better. Sometimes you hear it's changing, you know, it's changing rapidly, meaning, okay, they're figuring it out and they're getting better. No, not this one. So a lender in a particularly hot market in Colorado said several AMCs couldn't guarantee they would be able to get an appraiser out to the property in less than 4 weeks. Dude. So several factors are at play here as people are shopping around for the lowest prices, and potential home buyers are, quote unquote, watching the carrot of 2.5 and 1.88% rates being dangled in front of their faces. So I haven't seen those.
Me neither.
News stories. I mean, I've heard the 2.5 being dangled around, but not 1.88. But anyway, that's what this Housing Wire article mentions. But the number one issue noted across the board was appraiser attrition, which has only been exacerbated by the Rona. So
Jeremy said we're seeing about a week delay. Does that mean a week added on to the 10-day requirement? Isn't there like a 10-day requirement once you order the appraisal is supposed to have it back in 10 days? I know that is for VA, but is that for everything?
Yeah, well, we have a 17-day window to get it done and to get it negotiated or whatever the issue
Right.
is. But a lot of times we'll see a counter that says appraisal to be ordered in the first 5 days. So if it's ordered, but you can't schedule it for another 3 weeks, that's not going to change anything. But luckily, knock on wood, we're not seeing that here yet.
Jeremy said, with our post occupancies, are you doing per diems for the seller to the buyer?
Yeah.
For the extended, for the ones that go over 30 days, 60 days, no, they're doing a lease agreement outside of the contract. But for the ones that are just 30 days, yes, there's a per diem that usually covers the mortgage taxes and insurance. Karina said 2 of her VA appraisers have been affected by volume. Lender friends said it's been a 14 to 18 day turnaround. Jeremy says they don't have an appraisal requirement deadline. Usually the bank's policies and the AMCs do, though. The appraisal management companies. Oh,
there you go.
Screen, sorry.
Karina's got the
we're just
buyers got locked in.
Yeah, she said somebody locked in 2.5%. That's good.
You're just scared of the beard growth is what's going on.
So
we're just seeing more desktop appraisals where they don't even go to the house. You know, where they're just looking at pictures. But I understand it. I get it. But
yeah.
Well, I understand it, but they're seeing, you know, when you see like a house is just different. You got to go see this house to get you know, to really get the scope of it.
So let's talk about Zillow cutting us out. Yay. Wait, one more question. Sam said, Ray, are you seeing longer times waiting on appraisals? I've been seeing a little longer getting out to the house. Yes. They're usually on the back half. Normally they would be on like the front half, right? So my clients would often delay until they get their inspection, then order the appraisal. And right now I'm telling my clients, don't really wait, because I'm seeing just as many deals die on appraisal as I am for inspection. So
right.
get them both. Just go ahead and get it done and be finished with it so you can close in 30 days. If you do wait, I think it's going to be a 35, 40-day close. Eric,
yeah, right now you just can't because everything is so tight.
Some appraisers still won't enter the property due to COVID. I think that's convenient for them. I mean, they can glove up, mask up, glove up. Let's go.
And they're the only ones that needs to be in
Jeremy James is a fan of Zillow. He says Zillow, yay. No, he said boo for all you audio listeners. So
boo.
Right. So let's talk about the Zillow. This is actually coming to us from Housing Wire. So Zillow announces a partnership with DR Horton.
Doc, I'd love that.
Now, I know a lot of you who are not in areas where DR Horton builds may have thought this was some kind of medical partnership. It is not. DR Horton is is one of the nation's largest builders, I think.
Do you have Dr. Horton there?
Nope. That's why everyone in my area is like, Dr. Horton, what's that? So Zillow is a company. Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Zillow, a company who makes money off of agents by agents' placement alongside of listings that the agents are sending to the popular consumer-facing website with major data accuracy issues, is looking to cut out agents again. DR Horton is.
I don't think that part was in the story.
Was it not? I was just defining. Normally, in a story, whenever you do a story, you would define the company that you're talking about. So I was trying to put the definition that I wrote as the summary was Zillow, a company who makes money off of agents buying placement alongside listings that the agents are sending to the popular consumer-facing website with major data accuracy issues. That would be an accurate description, I think.
That defines them extremely well. Yeah.
Right. Dusty says Birdzillow. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, she's giving for our audio listeners, she's giving the your number one to Zillow.
That's right.
It's weird though. It's not the pointer finger. It's her middle finger, but it's weird. Yeah.
So DR Horton is teaming up with Zillow to sell their customers' home through Zillow Offers, allowing the seller to extend the closing timeline up to 8 months and be flexible throughout the transaction. DR Horton home buyers who sell their home via Zillow Offers may also get a kickback, cash credit at closing on top of the local moving services.
A bribe. I mean,
Mhm. We're excited to partner with Zillow to bring more convenience and flexibility to the home buying experience, said Donald R. Horton, DR Horton, chairman of Dr. Horton, in a statement. This is a great opportunity to provide our customers with new options to streamline the process of selling their existing home and help them move into their DR Horton home more efficiently.
Dude, they found a guy with the perfect name to be their chairman.
Yeah.
Did they
Isn't
do
that
a national search for that guy or what?
That's neat.
That's awesome.
Okay.
They found a guy named Donald R. Horton. That's cool.
Zillow didn't give much of a statement on it. They just said, buying a home is an exciting time, and we're proud to collaborate with the nation's largest home builder to help people unlock the life's next chapter. That's all they said about it. All right, so Jeremy says, Zillow, how can we get realtors to fund our company as we work to put them out of business? Realtors, take our money. Dusty, they left out the part about screwing homeowners out of a large portion of their equity. Hashtag truth.
Lots of good shade this week. Brought to you by
Blinds. We'd love a Blinds.com sponsorship in that slot, and they don't know we exist.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, to clarify exactly what's happening, DR Horton, who I think they have discouraged partnership, and I could be thinking of another builder. So let me put that disclaimer out there. But it seems like they were one that we talked about who discouraged some partnership with other agents in favor of their employed agents who work for them. Do you remember this? And we were talking about how that they wanted to sell their homes with the other big builder through like Open Door and the like just list it and let somebody buy it without agents. I think, I could be wrong. I could be talking about another builder, but I think that was them. So
yes,
if that is them, they're not my area, so I don't know. They don't exactly have the best relationship with agents anyway. No. So now what they're wanting to do is that, like, Dan, if you wanted to build a house with me, I'm Dr. Horton, and you wanted to build your house with me, I would say, Dan, you should list your house on Zillow Offers, and and when you sell it through Zillow Offers and they make you an offer and you accept it, you'll get a credit at the time that you close on the house that I'm building for you.
But I got to sell and wait.
Well, now it's more convenient than ever because it doesn't matter. You can go ahead. We can go ahead and start building. You just list it with them. They have a guaranteed offer for you. So you know that you can go ahead and get started, and it's just like trading in a car.
So I have a question.
Okay.
That house isn't going to be ready for 6 months. And
right.
I'm going to list my house now.
Right. You'll sell it and you stay there for 6 months.
I'm just going to stay there for 6 months. And the buyer's going to be okay with that?
Well, the buyer is Zillow. And they say they're okay with that.
And they'll just sit on my house for 6 months.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think you have to pay rent? I don't know. Are there increased fees for this convenience, Dan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's Pete Thorpe said, lies. Efficiency means they want to steal your equity. It's not commission. It's convenience at a price.
At a price.
What we're talking about. He goes on to say only 7 to 13% convenience fee, but thankfully none of that 5 to 6% greedy realtor commission. DR will jack up the price just a hair to cover that credit. Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting at.
On their purchase.
When a builder builds a home and they know that they're going to have to give a bit of a cash rebate for something, then they will often build in that rebate to the purchase price of the home. The consumer never really.
Absolutely. So and Dusty has a great point.
Yeah. Dusty Martin says you become a Zillow renter. It's fabulous.
So because a lot of times when you go to a new construction builder, they'll say, work with us and we'll give you a credit, or work with our lender and we'll give you a kickback. I mean, a bribe. I mean, a cash credit at close. Yeah. But what that really means is they want a realtor out of the picture. So you are no longer protected. They are not going to have your best interest at hand. That's what they want, but they're not going to say that.
There's no requirement for them to represent anyone in those situations. There's no representation. You represent yourself. You're
just representing yourself. You're taking on all the risk. And
yep.
I always tell them when these builders start out, they have a commission in mind.
Yeah, they know.
So all they're doing is, if they get your realtor out of the picture, all they're doing is pocketing that 10, 13 grand, whatever it is. They're not giving it back to anyone. They're just keeping it. It's just not going out. So it's not, it's all, you got to get way, way past just the, dude, really? I could just sell with Zillow, live in my house for 6 months while they build my new one. This seems easy. Oh, and I just paid 13% on my $500,000 house. And I overpaid for my purchase.
You overpaid for your purchase. You paid more in fees than you should have, but
right.
It's convenient. But it just goes to show you, like, if you can add a value to a real estate transaction, then people are willing to pay you. So as an agent, if you can figure out how to add a value of convenience to your real estate transaction, then people will pay you more money. That's the lesson you should learn. It's not that everyone's out to get you, is that if you're actually offering more value, people are willing to pay more for it.
And we,
under the guise of cutting you out.
Right. We top agents, and I can't say all of us, because I truly don't believe that most agents are in this business for the right reason or doing enough education to be better. But when you watch the Bearded Men of Real Estate show, you learn. That's why you should watch the show. But we top agents that really, truly want to be agents, we're in the business to read stories like this and go, okay, cool. They do that. I'm going to beat that. And by the way, I'm not going to raise my fees. I'm still charging 6% for my listing, not 7, not 13. Oh, now they're doing that. Okay, cool. Just like we have on the show, we have instant offers we have the be more bids.
Be more bids, email offers, super simple.
You click a button on my website.
Yep.
It brings up an email. You type in the price you want to offer. Boom. I get that email right away, quicker than even Zillow.
Yeah.
And I still only charge 6%. On the buy side, don't charge anything.
Okay. So since we're already talking about Zillow cutting us out, why don't you get to the other article and we could talk a little more about. So one of the things I'm thinking about is it is difficult if you want to sell your house and build a house. If you have to have your home sold, and you have to have your home sold in order to build and close on the house.
Right.
There's the bridge loans and things like that, but those can get ridiculously risky and expensive. And so you're removing the risk, you're removing the expense, right? And you're including the convenience. So I think agents have to figure out a way to do that in order to compete. Pete Thorpe says perceived value, also backed by Wall Street funding.
Oof. That's a deep cut right there.
Yeah. Dusty Martin says, correction, Zillow and the builders are only required to offer the appearance of better service.
Very good correction.
Steve, that's kind of what Pete was saying too. Okay.
So
to the next article.
Yeah. So we covered it either a week or two ago or whatever, but last month, Zillow Offers resumes buying houses in all of their operating markets. So I think I forget what it was, 8 of them or 11 of the markets. Yeah. But we have DR Horton and we have Zillow Offers in the areas I work. So I'm being affected by both of these things. So since pausing all iBuying services in March due to the Rona, Zillow Offers has now resumed in all 24 of its operating markets. Hold on. There's a very weird sound going on outside. Jeremy Waxman, who is the president of Zillow, said, people still need and want to move. This is how I don't know how he sounds. And I'm proud of the work that Zillow Offers team and all our local partners have done. I'm transitioning into goofy. To adapt our protocols and adopt new technology so we are able to deliver a safer, more digital and streamlined real estate experience for them. The reason I read it like that is because it's the same quote they say about all of their new projects. It's literally just the same thing.
Literally, I think the same quote they said out about all the other stuff.
They just literally, wait, which Waxman quote should we use? I don't know. Take that one, adjust a little bit that we did for, that we did for that new thing, and then just send it over here. It's the same thing.
Very white and clean shaven, which I don't know if he's either of those, but that's how you made him sound.
Yeah, that's how it sounds. I think so. As reported on the show about a month ago, iBuying resumed in Los Angeles, Riverside, California, Minneapolis, Cincinnati, and Orlando, Florida. As Zillow re-enters the market during the Rona, it said it is also launching a health safety initiative to protect its consumers, employees, and partners. Wow. So hold on for more sarcasm at the end of the story. Zillow said for sale homes will undergo an additional cleaning regimen, and personal protective equipment such as masks and gloves will be recommended for all people entering the properties. Also, the number of in-person tours will be limited to allow for healthy distancing. So, Ray, exactly what we've been doing as realtors since day one of this pandemic, Zillow is now offering.
So we should charge more for our services. If they can get more.
They just because here's the thing I worry about is that someone reads this story and goes, wow, Zillow's really stepping their game up and really making it, extra clean and extra supplies, and showings are limited and you can't do as much. We've been doing that since day one.
Dusty Martin says you're still getting screwed, but the perp bought you dinner first.
Yeah.
She also said, oh, they're going to start actually cleaning their flips before they list now.
Recommended, it says.
Yes, it does say recommended. Oh, really? Nastiest flips in town. So they're not working in my area, so I don't really know. I don't have a personal experience with them.
I mean, I don't know theirs. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but
they can't spend there's not a lot of margin. So they can't hire the best in the city. That's not going to work.
No, and they can't. And they do the same thing like with the open door ones. Open doors are paint and maybe flooring, maybe. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times the house still smells. It still has dings and scratches. And if there's halfway decent carpet, they'll just leave it. But they told that homeowner, no. We need to get this low price so we can. But they're trying to, minimize your dollar while maximizing theirs.
Dusty says all the big buyers are pretty gross. Interesting. Yeah. They're not in my area, so I do not know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know Zillow is seemingly after us. It's definitely I think it's starting to make a lot of agents now say, okay. But the big question is, are they going to be too late? Are agents going to be too late in order to actually compete with a consumer giant?
Well, it's bigger than agents, though. Like we talked about on the show last week, is NAR going to be too late? Or are they just getting kickbacks from Realtor.com and they're fine with it happening?
Jeremy James says spray Febreze and hang a mask on the doorknob.
There you go. Done.
Sometimes they paint maybe floors, but almost never do even basic cleaning.
No.
So really just emptying it out and retaking photos after it's a little bit clean. Seemingly. All right. So in order to compete, we talked about on last week's show, put the little tag there. On last week's show, we talked about MLSs and what a multiple listing service would need to do in order to compete with a giant like this. We also talked about the National Association of Realtors, perhaps maybe actually creating a national MLS so that people could search a home because they have all the data already. I don't know why they're not doing it. And we also talked about forming a new group of professionals that would hold to continuing education and, a real ethics code. And then we realized that we were describing what NAR maybe should have been at the first part. So Sam brings up a good point. For how much longer do we say that we don't have them in our area? We're not super attractive because we don't have the volume of transactions that they would need to sustain a team.
Well, and also there has to be the difference between their purchase price and what they could sell it for.
Yeah, that's true. But they got to keep those people working.
Yeah.
All right. So Jeremy James says MLSs need to cut the IDX feed to Zillow. Well, let's talk about a move that EXP just made.
Yeah, but they're pulling from Realtor.com, not MLSs.
EXP acquired Showcase IDX and plans a consumer search portal. Now, yesterday, if you are friends with real estate agents on the line, you saw a lot of EXP agents posting their stock price. If you're not familiar, that's one of the benefits of being at EXP. I guess you get some stock.
Yeah.
You could also purchase the stock on your own if you'd like to, but their stock jumped. This is the reason that their stock jumped. They acquired Showcase IDX and they're going head to head with Zillow. Here's a quote from Glenn Sanford. He said, "We're very impressed by the technology and the talent that Showcase IDX has assembled, and we look forward to working together with to expand EXP's reach by creating a consumer portal for home search, market intelligence, and agent marketing." He's CEO, founder of EXP. Together, we have big plans to help agents engage with consumers in a more significant way and ultimately build their business. I should stop reading it like an announcer and start reading it like a I don't know. So like he's in the technology agent business, so maybe he's a nerd. So maybe I should just do that. Let's see. Anyway, Clayton was the one that brought us the story last week that we talked about. He's at the Houston Realtor Association. Houston, is it Houston Realtor Association?
It's HAR, Houston Area Realtors or something
Area
like that.
Realtors. That's what it is.
Yeah, HAR, Houston Area or Houston Association of Realtors, and they have their own everything. It's amazing.
So EXP is not going to completely shut down Showcase IDX. So they actually have been servicing. It says the company's website boasts thousands of clients from brokerages affiliated with Keller Williams, Remax, Realogy owned brands, and others. That's interesting. So EXP is not going to shut those down. They're going to continue to work them for existing customers, but I think they're going to fold in the Showcase IDX with their own product in the future.
But I mean,
it's really a talent. It's really a talent hire, and they probably got some licensing that they need.
Yeah, that's what it's got to be. Because I have a website, and you search on my website, and it's directly from the MLS. It's an IDX. So
Sam Caraway said, "I've never been more happy to not be attractive." He's talking about not be attractive to Zillow coming into our area.
Yeah.
It's good. Good quote.
I mean, it's good. Whatever. It's good for EXP. But I think it's more of a
it's a good move. You got to try to be competitive. Somebody has to if the National Association of Realtors is not going to.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think it's a solid move, and I think it's more like you said, acquiring talent and the ability to do something, but not like a big national search site that's going to take on Zillow. I don't think that's going to
that's the one thing that would make me donate to RPAC. If they're like, you make a donation to the National Association of Realtors, and we are going to build the world's best IDX with the world's best customer experience, I would actually give them some money for that. Yeah,
we bought Search IDX. We've studied Zillow, Redfin, Trulia. We know how this works, and now here's what we're building.
Some of those people that work there.
Yeah.
It's not what I don't want is them to hire like this little company that put in a little bid and they actually won it. And it's like two guys in a studio apartment. They're like, whoa, we got the National Association of Realtors bid. Let's build this thing out. And then
because they got it for 150 grand instead of 150 million.
Yep. Dusty Martin said, I'm not even an EXP agent and I'm all for this.
Well, it's a move. It's a move away from,
on the show last year when Contactually was acquired by Compass, it was a big concern, the privacy data for agents affiliated with Compass. The perception of having another brokerage in your database could be concerning because of all those IDX products and lead gen component. Yes, and they left, if I remember correctly. There was a bunch of agents at other companies that left.
It'd be 10,000.
James said it'd be 10,000%.
Well, it's like when we talked about the PLS. Remember the pocket listing service? I don't know where they've gone or how far they've come, or how they've been affected by the new law. But we praised them, like, hey, do your own thing. Stop. You can sell it on your own. Don't send it to Zillow. So they were trying to do something just on a much smaller scale than EXP.
Dusty Martin said, yes, I would totally donate to RPAC or pay higher dues if we were actually protected by NAR.
So that's the funny thing, is that the dues we pay now should protect us, but they don't.
Yeah, Lisa said Showcase powers a lot of agent sites. And some of that stuff is on the back end. Like you may not even know that it's powering your IDX.
Yeah.
Jeremy James said, build a world-class NAR MLS with data disclosures, videos, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, where the listing agent keeps their face on the listing. Unless it's sent to a client who's already signed up, then it replaces it with my face because that's my client already. I mean, these are things that little companies are now doing. So if they could do it, they should do it.
You go to the next one because
That was my transition.
All right, let's discriminate. I mean, All right. So I'd love to hear some thoughts on this. And unfortunately, I do have to run. I have an appointment, but I want the discussion to happen now, and then keep going after the show, and then keep going outside of the show. But New York real estate pros who discriminate could lose their license. I think the headline should be New York real estate pros who discriminate should lose their license. And I think on top of that, it should be all real estate pros who discriminate should lose their license. Not could. So if I'm found discriminating against someone, I should lose my license, right?
Yep.
All right. So New York Governor Andrew Cuomo signed legislation. That's a tough word for some reason today. Legislation Monday that will allow the state to revoke real estate licenses if agents or brokers violate anti-discrimination laws. As a quote from the man himself, we have zero tolerance for discrimination of any kind in New York. Just in New York, though, no other state in the nation. And the sheer scope and breadth of the unscrupulous and discriminatory real estate practices uncovered on Long Island is repugnant to who we are. He said in a statement. Cuomo is referencing a November 17th, 2019 report from BMore that we broke that story. Oh, wait. Sorry. It was an investigative report conducted by Newsday, not BMore.
We mentioned it, though.
Yeah, we mentioned it, though. Guess what my cat's doing? She's knocking things off of the table. That's what cats do. So, yeah, we did mention it. So that Newsday report alleged that some real estate professionals were steering clients toward housing and certain neighborhoods based on race. New York lawmakers cited that investigation is prompting them to take action through the new legislation. So we kind of mentioned on the show, and it was like, well, yeah, of course, if they're discriminating or steering, then yes, there should be action taken to get them if they are. So James Whelan, president of the Real Estate Board of New York, said the law was an important step to helping protect clients. This is a quote: all New Yorkers must have equal access and opportunity when searching for housing or commercial real estate. Now, some brokerage leaders, however, have spoken out against the Newsday investigation and have questioned its findings. One brokerage called the report an unreliable, unethical, and unscientific attempt to create a news story where there is none. So is there some validity to that last quote? And do you think this is a positive step, Ray and viewers, or is this opening up a can of worms?
Eric said we've been under the microscope because Long Island real estate agents and are still paying and are still playing crazy games. What do you mean crazy games? So it's I mean what they found with a lot of that was unfortunate. It wasn't scientific. It wasn't a scientific study.
No.
It was a anecdotal study.
There's no data behind it. It was, but
there
was
hidden camera where people were saying stupid stuff and being totally racist.
There
right?
was audio and video, and we totally agreed with it on the show.
Yep. Yeah. So, but is that an industry-wide thing? I don't know. Is that a community thing there? It could be.
Is it just a New York thing? No.
And so these are all the things that make it not scientific, is that you see that there is an issue in that area, but you can't say it's in all areas. And you can't, I mean, I wish they would have done it nationwide. I wish they would have done some kind of study scientifically to really see, how big of an issue is this and where is it? I think I think agents need to be aware of it. And you need to know when you're doing stuff racist that's, you don't mean to, or that's not in your, if a client's like, hey, I want to live. I was just talking about this with someone the other day. When a client's like, I want to live by people that are like me. I'm an Indian guy and I want to live by other Indians.
Right.
Well, right over there. No, you can't.
Well, actually, I have this great. No,
you can't.
And that's the client asking for it. But
it's the client asking for it. But you as an agent can't do that kind of stuff. So
no.
Dusty Martin said, fact, there are a-holes in every state and every profession. Very true.
Right. And we're also governed by a body that doesn't protect us, but we have a code of ethics that we have to follow. So technically this is already a thing.
We do have a code of ethics that we have to follow, but it's not being enforced. And it's not enforced is because there's no self-policing in our industry, because people are like, well, I know that guy's a racist. I'm not going to do business with him, but you don't turn him in.
Yeah.
And if you're really upset about companies like Zillow making inroads, cutting agents out of the transaction because they're unscrupulous and they don't have integrity and they're not doing a good job, then you have to be an agent that actually reports those people that are bad.
Yes.
And if you're not, then you're just letting them stay in the industry, and it's making you look bad.
Right. And I have some recent reportings lately where total steering is happening in the comments. Total steering is happening and it's misleading to buyers.
Lisa said it better than me because she's a copywriter, but this is what I was trying to say.
There you go.
And people have an inherent bias. It isn't always malicious, but it's always wrong. Yes.
Right.
That's what I was trying to say.
So, and now the video and the audio that was uncovered or was taken, it was blatant. Now, everything that we covered in that article was blatant. But now if someone comes to me and says, I want to live around people like me, what area can I do? And then you go, okay, well, that's where it's more, you're not doing it on purpose, but you got to be very careful because technically you're steering. And technically, what you should be doing is here's all these listings. Here's my favorites. What are your favorites? Let's combine powers. And then, it's the same thing like with schools. I send a website to my clients. I say, if you want to do some research, here you go. I don't know what you're okay with as far as schools go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say.
The one thing I don't like is that we can't use data. So that's one thing that I thought was weird. Like, you can't use crime data, crime statistics. Well, it's data. It's statistics. I don't know why you can't use that.
But why are you using that to steer for or against something? Could be that
I had someone yesterday, single female, says, I want to live somewhere safe. Is this a safe area? I'm like, well, I mean, I can tell you that the crime rate is really low, but I can't tell you that. I could tell you that the crime rate is high in this area and you shouldn't live here, but I can't tell you that. So instead I have to say, you got to go to the police.
Or here's the website. Go do your research.
That's fine, but I would rather just say, well, here's the stats. Here's the data for this area.
Right. And then it's not an opinion.
But that's considered redlining and all kinds of racist stuff.
Right.
Which, I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Lisa Perk says source to source. Yep. She also says, how many peanut butters discourage you from turning?
That's what I read.
Principal brokers. How many principal brokers discourage you from turning people in? Too many in my experience. Yeah, that's true.
Right. And those peanut butters need to be out of the business too.
Dusty Martin said, I send interactive crime map and school ranking site and let them decide for themselves. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. But it's just easy if you know it and you're standing there in a house. Jeremy says, here's the listings that match your criteria. Would you like to go see? Yep.
Right. But what if part of that criteria, Jeremy, is I don't want to live by those people. So we have a friend, and I don't want to say who the friend is or where the friend is, but they've sold a house with straight up racist things in it.
Oh yeah. Oh, there was a
like not undercover racist. It's racist things.
Overt. There was a property on the market. I don't know if it's still there or not, but it was in some kind of podunk area. And it literally had a swastika flag on it and all kinds of stuff on the neighbor's house. And they were trying to sell their house and they couldn't sell it because of the neighbors.
Right.
Lisa Perk said, I sent a client to the police and she found there was an underage strip club up the block. I learned many things that day. That's terrible.
Oof. That's a good learning experience.
So I want to get to this article really quick, Dan, because I know you got to go, but I do want to cover this. It's been on our list for like 2 weeks. So there was a pandemic. Are y'all familiar with the pandemic? During the pandemic, a lot of people worked in the house. And I thought this was just really interesting data. Back to the data. We're going to look at what the most common home improvements. What do you think the most common home improvement was without looking at the article? Don't look at the article.
I have not looked at this article.
What do you think?
Pools so they can rent it on Swimply.
Lisa Perk, did you hear that? Pools. What else was the most common? If you're watching us, there's several of you that are watching us. A lot of you that have not commented because I'm looking at
lurkers. Don't be lurkers now.
Let's go down to right when I said there are a lot of people that are watching. So they're up. It just left again.
They're all.
So
he's soft.
Oh.
So I would say straight up pool because they're stuck at home and they're either putting it in or upgrading their pool.
Okay. What else in the comments? I've already seen the study, so obviously I can't answer this. But what do you guys think are the most common home improvements during the pandemic? Now, if you checked out your Realtor magazine, you should already know this. Lisa Perk said, I'm about to start renting mine out.
Tom Tezak was lurking.
Tom Tezak, he's such a lurker. Oh,
that's good.
B-gate or a home office.
Home office. There you go.
Space. Yep. That would be a common renovation, I would think, in the pandemic.
Well, Ray is doing one right now.
Yeah, I'm under, if you could see, like there's still, there's still boxes over there, right? And you can't see this, but there's like a wall here that's an actual mattress. That's the temporary wall until that.
He blacks that out though, very strategically.
Sam Caraway said pool 100%. Dusty Martin said bigger yard.
Deck upgrade. That's a good one. So did you see Ray, total side note, this is just between Ray and I, but did you see Jess's deck upgrade?
No.
Dude.
Is it nice?
It's awesome. Like they had a nice deck before. It was a wood deck with some steps going up. Now it's like, dude.
All right, here it is.
Yeah. Ellis is right. And she's in Arkansas. Sorry. I hate when I say that.
Pandemic has prompted many homeowners. What's more, homeowners have spent a median of $17,000 on improving their homes since the pandemic began.
Wow.
Yeah. To fund these household projects, 38% dipped into savings, 23% used credit cards, and 13% used the government stimulus.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, but with an average of 5 improvement projects per household. Whoa.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah. Well, it's several months. Outdoor projects have been some of the most popular. 61% of homeowners reported doing upgrades to their garden, patio, or renovating the structure of the house. So I would say the deck. Who said the deck?
The home inspector guy.
Patrick Ellis. I would say he was the closest. Tom said Ray has a life journey going on working with his office. Yeah. Just raise the neighbor's house and get a better yard.
By the way, nice use of raise. R-A-Z-E. Nice work.
Jonathan said, on my house, we put a new roof, outdoor lighting, and painted the exterior. Yeah, my neighbors did the outdoor lighting and a whole bunch of landscaping. Lisa
nice.
Said I pitched in bigly to raise that average. Okay, so let's continue to look at the article. Outdoor projects. 58% also made improvements inside, such as repainting. I'm surprised none of you real estate agents said repainting. You're in this house, right? Aren't people going to repaint it? So 58% said repainting walls, adding new flooring, or renovating a bathroom. So 26% said garden landscaping, 24% said repainting, 21% said high-speed internet.
So I've done that, but not. Oh, I guess I just did it because I could and it was cheaper. I didn't do it because of the Rona, but.
Jonathan said, oh yeah, we made a huge garden space. Patrick Ellis said, can't go live the salt life, so why not use the money on fixing up the house? I think that is probably what a lot of people did.
Right. Like if you have a $7,000 vacation planned and that's not happening. Yeah. Raise the neighbor's house.
Who said bigger yard? Oh, that was Dusty. So Dusty said bigger yard. Check out this. It's in the wrong. Check out this right here. It says fixing or adding a lawn. There you go. They actually made their yard bigger. And then security cameras. That's interesting.
Yeah. So we have gardening happening. We have painting that's gonna happen, and then other necessities. But yeah, so it's falling right in line.
So the reasons why, which that's kind of an interesting question. They finally have time. That was 5% of the people. Adding value to the home was 21%. Made them feel more comfortable or cozy was 21%.
Cool.
Yeah, there you go. Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie, how are you? She's from Arkansas too. She said kitchen got an update. That's good. Jeremy James said we do flooring painting. We're working on 2 bathrooms. Oh, we're getting artificial turf, said Lisa Perk. Highly recommend.
And look, Jeremy's like, how do you add a lawn?
So in some places are that super low manscaped.
Hello.
Whoa. Some places,
and on that note,
some places are the super low maintenance stuff, and so you can add the turf or add the lawn or take out the rocks or take out forest or
or if you had, I mean, we don't have huge lots
making
here.
A grassy knoll actually.
There you go. You just add grass to make your lawn, or you could just raise the neighbor's house.
Raise the neighbor's house, make that lawn bigger.
Yeah,
adjust your survey stakes in the yard. Jonathan said in the honeydew list was getting crusty.
Yeah, so now they have that extra time, and Honey's like, all right, get out there and do that list. You got lots more free time, and we got that vacation money, so chop, chop.
Sam said, instead of upgrading during this market, we decided to capitalize and sell. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Ray and his buyers into it. That's right. Well, there you go. Congrats on the sale. So now
I got an appointment to get to.
Moved into the remodel and are finishing it. So that's what we're doing.
You're doing all upgrades, inside out, paint.
There's not a square inch of this house I haven't touched.
High speed internet. You're doing all of it.
Yeah, it's fun.
But you didn't start it 5 months ago when the Rona started. You started it a while ago.
Yeah. All right, Dan, where can everybody find you?
DLudwigRocks, DLUDWIGROCKS, everywhere. Go find me, please. Yay!
Yeah, and find me at Razorback, RAYZORBACK. Thanks so much for joining us on the show. Thank you for commenting during the show. Thank you guys who bought the Listen, Learn, Love to support charity, which we'll kind of announce all that stuff in the future. So really appreciate that for those of you who bought the shirts.
Hey.
Yeah.
And I know we're just a plucky little show, but take this, listen, learn, love, apply that to your lives, please. We do it every day in our business. We do it every day in our personal lives. Do it. We need more of that in the world. So please, please, please do it.
Go find some listings, everybody.
Love you guys. Bye.